Well, he was one of the chief architects of Wall Street reform. Now, Congressman Barney Frank is calling out Republicans, saying they're trying to slow its full implementation. Let's bring in the congressman from Washington to join us. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You just finished with a press conference speaking out against a bill that you will receive on Thursday, basically trying to prevent any substantive regulation of the derivatives market, part of Wall Street reform, until the end of 2012. What is your biggest concern here in terms of how that would affect the average American?
Well, there were two equal concerns. Most immediately, we gave the Commodities Futures Trading Commission the mandate to deal with speculation in various commodities, including energy. And the CFTC has a rule now pending to limit what people who don't use oil can buy in that area. In other words, we're not trying to stop people use it from doing what they need to do, but you have financial interests that buy up these quantities of oil, the futures, not planning to use it, but in a way that affects the market. Goldman Sachs has said that these activities add at least $20 a barrel to the cost of oil. Wilbur Ross, the investor, has said 10 to 20. What we have is the CFTC has proposed position limits, namely limiting the amount people who don't use energy can buy in a way that we think affects the market. This bill would kill that rule, and it would kill that rule through 2012. Secondly, and that obviously has an impact on the average American at the pump. Secondly, the bill would prevent our efforts to regulate the kind of activity that went on between AIG and Goldman Sachs. Again, this doesn't affect an airline that's trying to hedge on fuel. This affects purely financial industry entities that are trading back and forth credit default swaps. They have to have enough capital to back themselves up. There have to be margins on the trades that they should go onto exchanges where they are sufficiently manageable. What they want to do is to go back to where we had the situation before, where an AIG was able to get over its head in debt to other entities and then ultimately cause the Federal Reserve to have to come in to bail them out. So it is both a threat to the system and in the near term a very serious threat to raise prices at the pump.
Looking at this proposal to basically push off any derivatives reform until after the 2012 elections, it would be until December 31st, 2012. Is there room for compromise here, Congressman Frank? When you look at this political environment, would you be more comfortable with a shorter delay, or are you adamant that this has to be implemented and implemented now?
I'm against a delay. By the way, they are in favor of a delay. They're in favor of killing it, because you correctly pointed out their intention is to put this off until after the next election, hoping that the Republican will win the next election and go back to complete deregulation. We gave the Commodities Futures Trading Commission all the time they need. This isn't about a deadline that's too quick. We told them if they need more time to take more time. No, I'm not prepared to compromise on stopping speculators from raising gas prices, nor do I want to compromise on whether or not AIG and Goldman Sachs and other large financial institutions should be able to engage in the kind of financial razzle-dazzle that was a major contributor to the crisis. All we're saying is, if you're going to sell and buy each other these things, have some capital to back up what you owe. There's no requirement for that until the law was passed. And let the agencies put margin requirements on. They put margin requirements on stock, but there are no comparable requirements on these trades, and we think there should be.
When you look at all the new rules that have been written and have to be written, the SEC and the CFTC have missed some of their deadlines. And to be fair here, there are some of your Republican counterparts who say this is such critical reform. It could shape our financial industry for, say, the next century. We don't want to get it wrong. We don't want to face another disaster like we did. Is that all politicking, or do they have a point here?
No, I just told you. We have said take as much time as you need. This is not about giving them an extra month or 2 or 3 months. That's not it at all. This is substantively to say they can't even do anything until they hope after they've won the next election.
When we look at the push here by some to delay derivatives reform until the end of 2012, do you look at this, Congressman, as a push to slowly unravel Wall Street reform?
Absolutely. And the only reason they want to slowly unravel it is that now it's too popular to undo it altogether. This is an effort to prevent, and let's be very clear, this is not fine-tuning, this is not worrying about the end users or giving them a little more time. This is to say no substantive regulation of derivatives, including the speculative part or the interchange between financial institutions, until the end of 2012. And why did they pick 2012? Very simple. They wanted to get it after the next election because they hope to win the next election. And they understand this. If these things go into effect, and it's true for consumer protection and other things, I believe they will be seen to be popular. They will be seen to be workable, and it's very hard to undo something once it happens.
How do you think that this is all going to play out? Gauging as best you can from those on your side of this line and your Republican counterparts, how is this going to play out? Do you think they'll be successful in delaying implementation?
No. Senator Johnson, the chairman of the Senate Banking Committee, has already said no. The president wouldn't sign it. And I think they're going to find that they've made a mistake politically. You know, politicians have historically tried to manipulate mass hysteria. This group is looking at, they hope, mass attention deficit disorder. They think Americans have forgotten how we got into this mess. I think now that we are in a public debate about whether or not we should regulate derivatives, whether they should be an independent consumer bureau, they're going to lose legislatively and they're going to lose politically.
Congressman Frank, as always, fascinated to have you on the program. Keep us posted. Thank you.